Mommy's trying the Cut, Sculpt, and Roll Modeling Doh Kit from Melissa & Doug. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm Mommy and I review children's products. Today I'll be reviewing the Melissa & Doug Modeling Kit. Honestly, I just wanted this set for the tools. I asked a friend who was in occupational therapy assisting school at the time, what fine motor skills or occupational therapy stuff can I do with my daughter? He happened to mention that children can actually use scissors by the age of 2. My daughter was around 1.5 when I asked him this question, so being the optimistic mom I try to be, I secretly wanted to try and introduce this new skill to my daughter before she turned 2. It hasn't happened yet, which is of course totally fine, but we've been using and loving the other pieces of this set, and my daughter wants to play with this set almost every day. This $15 kit includes 12 pieces rated for children 3 and up, 2 pattern wheels with wooden handles, 2 plastic scissors, one is a regular pair and the other cuts with a zigzag pattern. The scissors are a little bigger than I expected, but it's probably because my almost 2-year-old daughter's hands are so small, and her hands just don't fit into these yet. There are also 2 dough cutters, a sculpting tool, a rolling pin, 4 tubs of modeling dough, which includes orange, purple, blue, and yellow. The yellow actually kind of reminds me of a mustard color, where each tub holds about 1 ounce of modeling dough. Melissa & Doug advertises this to be 16 pieces because they include the lids that happen to have different animal molds on them. A teddy bear, the head of an elephant, the head of a tiger, and an airplane. The containers themselves are thin white plastic, so don't press the lid on too hard or the container will bend. When you first start playing with this set, you'll notice the modeling dough that comes with this is extremely soft. Soft to the point where you really got to make sure you don't get any trapped under your fingernails. This extreme texture lasts for less than 3 months. I tested this out by deliberately only having 1 tub of dough open and having my daughter play with that one to see how long it'll take until it dries up. Actually, before I bought this, I read a lot of reviews that parents were unhappy at how quickly the dough dried out. So I happened to call the Melissa & Doug customer service line and asked if they had any recommendations on the best way to rehydrate their modeling dough. Which I'm sure they thought was such a ridiculous question, but I wanted to see what the company offered, and you'll never know an answer to a question unless you ask it. So they suggested for me to mix a little water into the dough and see if that'll work. And it actually does. For about 6 days, then it starts to dry up again. So if you wanted to keep the dough from this set as long as possible, that could be an option for you. Once the modeling dough has dried a little bit, but still has that classic Play-Doh texture we're all used to handling, you do get a thin, dry film over your fingernails. I don't remember if the actual name brand Play-Doh does this, but just make sure to wash your hands after playing with it. I also like to use this to improve my child's grip strength. As silly as that may sound, I'm actually trying to help build up the strength in her hands and forearms to help her feel comfortable feeding herself with a fork or spoon, to hold a pencil, or to just play and take her toys apart independently. All those little things add up to help her do other things down the road. One way I like to do this is to shape some dough into a small ball and make it a game for my daughter for her to squeeze the ball of dough as hard as she can in each hand. She cracks up the whole time we're doing it, but you can clearly see which hand is stronger when you look at the dough afterwards. You can play on the tray the kit came in, but you'll just be keeping your arms up the entire time. And it doesn't come with a lid, so you just gotta keep everything in this bin. My daughter has been playing with the set for almost 4 months now, and everything has held up very well. No nicks on anything, and we always play with this on a white table, and there hasn't been any color staining on the table either. It just happens to leave that thin residue of dough on the table that you can easily wipe off with the baby-safe multi-purpose cleaner. The only color staining I've seen was when I added a little water to the dough to rehydrate it. Some of the color was coming off, so just be careful. Overall, I think this is a great introductory kit if your child has never been introduced to modeling compound before. It has just the right amount of modeling compound for little hands and enough variety of toys that your little one will be able to stay entertained with. If you happen to have an older child, Melissa & Doug does make a larger kit that has a couple more pieces to it for about $18, and I'll include that in the description box below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to see the latest review videos. Thanks for watching at Mommy's Trying.
Mommy, we do it. Cheese.
Cheese.